I basically believe in the soldier-on system. Lots of hardship will come, and you got to handle it well by soldiering through.
Living to 100, everybody wants to know what's the secret. What is the secret for you? What did you conscientiously
I don't know the secret. I avoided the standard ways of failing because my game in life was always to avoid all standard ways of failing. You teach me the wrong way to play poker and I will avoid it. You teach me the wrong way to do something else, I will avoid it. And of course I've avoided a lot because I'm so cautious. I had some everybody has some bad ones. The greatest tennis player goes out there someday to the center court and has a bad day. It happens.
I think people learn more from their mistakes sometimes than
and their bad days even.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what really is knowing you can have a very bad day. Do not live your life in such a fashion that a bad day can kill you.
Which means what when it comes to investing? Making sure you don't use leverage?
Well, they aim for the fences. It's like a hitter at baseball who tries to hit a home run on every pitch.
Yeah.
The great home hitters do not remotely swing at every pitch. They wait for one that they can really handle. And that's what great stock pickers do too.
So you think it's harder to make money now?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and it's a very important question. And of course it's harder. It's so much harder you can't believe it. The people that have found it harder are the people that made Warren so rich. What Ben Graham did that was so interesting is that he taught that you should find a few good things and stay with them for a very long time. But a long time to him was a few years. It wasn't a few decades. And he taught you got into things. It could be a lousy business, but if they were cheap enough, they're still all right if they had enough assets per share. So you're getting at least twice as many assets as you were paying for. That was his system. And he had worked for 50 years. His clients had good returns. Well, after he became so famous, partly with the help of Warren Buffett and Warren Buffett's success, everybody tried to do the same thing. And of course, as everybody crowded in, trying to be a little Ben Graham, it got more and more competitive. And that's what's happened now. If you just try and float from one undervalued bad business into another and pay all the costs and so forth, it just doesn't work well enough for the people that actually put up the money to be worth bothering with.
Well, your upgrade on that was to just look for good businesses.
I saw immediately the Graham was wrong. The real money was in the really great companies, which carried you up and up and up and up. I did not anticipate when Warren and I were starting with our little piddly start that we'd ever get to 100 billion. Much less several hundred billion. It was an amazing occurrence.
What led to that success?
Well, we got a little less crazy than most people, and a little less stupid than most people, and that really helped us. Then in addition, we were given this much longer time to run than most people because something kept us alive into our 90s. And that gave us a long track from our little piddling start all the way to the 90s. And of course, we wised up over time. We got into better and better companies, and we understood more and more of the bad things that could happen to you and how easy they could creep in. The main trick that Berkshire shows is the power of what I call the Wooden effect. And Wooden was the most famous basketball coach of the whole era. He concentrated about 90% of the playing time in 7 players, and everybody else was just a sparring partner for the people. Simple idea. That's what Berkshire did. Of course, it worked better, and everybody's learned it. But in investment picking, people think anybody can learn it who just goes to Harvard or Columbia or something. And of course, anybody can't learn it. It's like chess or mechanical ability or a lot of other abilities. It's somebody who does it a lot and has a natural aptitude for it, who's the outlier, who gets the big results. And that's what happens in the investment world. Just a few outliers make the money. If you take out of Warren Buffett's life the 10 most important trips to the pie counter, the whole record would look like dung. It would be just worthless. And a few rare opportunities will come. You got to learn how to recognize them when they come. Berkshire could easily be worth twice what it is now. And the extra risk we would have taken would have been practically nothing. All we had to do was use a little more leverage that was easily available.
In hindsight, you're glad you didn't? Just from the potential risk?
It's an interesting example. The reason we didn't is the idea of disappointing a lot of people who had trusted us when we were young. If we lost 3/4 of our money, we were still very rich. That wasn't true of every shareholder. Losing 3/4 of the money would have been a big letdown. So we were very cautious in dealing with our shareholders' money.